Hey students, today our learning target is I can order decimals from greatest to least. Greatest means biggest and least means smallest. So we're going to be ordering decimals from the biggest to the smallest. Down here we have a place value chart, and let's review that. This is the hundred spot in the place value chart. Here's the 10 spot in the place value chart, and here's the 1 spot in the place value chart. Right after the 1 spot, we have this decimal point, and everything to the right of this is less than 1 whole. Here we have the 10th spot, which is 1/10 of 1 whole, and here we have the 100th spot, which is 1/100th of 1 whole. We can relate decimals to money. For example, you see this number down here. This number could also be said like money. For example, $847.36. Or you can say 847 and 36 hundredths. And as you can see, the hundreds is represented by a $100 bill. The tens is represented by a $10 bill. The ones are represented by a $1 bill. And the tenths are represented by a dime, because a dime is 1/10 of a dollar. And the hundredths are represented by a penny, because a penny is 1/100th of a whole dollar. So let's go ahead and move on to our objective today. So we are going to take these decimals and we are going to put them in order from biggest to smallest. One of the things that you can do is you can line up your numbers by the decimal point. So I'm going to go ahead and start by putting the biggest number or the first number first. So the biggest number or the first number that we have is 7 and 36 1/100ths. 7 and 36 hundredths. Okay? Right below that, I'm going to line up the decimals and we're going to write the next number, 94 hundredths. 94 hundredths. And finally, I'm going to line up the last decimal and we are going to write 5 hundredths. 5 hundredths. So as you can see, we're going to start to look at the biggest place value first. The biggest place value that a number is in is 7. So that is the biggest number. 7 and 36 hundredths is the biggest number. Then we're going to move over. Well, you'll also notice there's no numbers in the other 1 spot. So now we move to the 10th spot. We're all done with this number. So we see which has the biggest number in the 10th spot. And that is 9. 9 is bigger than 100. So the next biggest number is 94 hundredths. And then that leaves the last number as the smallest number. And as you can see here, we've now ordered these numbers from from greatest to smallest. 7 and 36 hundredths is bigger than 94 hundredths, is bigger than 5 hundredths. And if you wanted to use greater than or less than symbols, you could put these in between, greater than. Okay? Let's take a look at one more example. Okay, so here we have 87 hundredths, 3 hundredths, and 6 and 2 hundredths. If you're thinking about this like money, that's 87 cents, 3 cents, and $6.02. If you think of it like money, it's really easy to put in order from biggest to smallest. But let's go ahead and do it like we did last time. We'll start by putting 87 hundredths here. And right below it, we have to line the decimals up. and we'll put 300ths here, and then we'll put 6 and 200ths right here. Now we can start to look at the largest place value. The largest one on this chart is hundreds, and we don't have any. The next largest is tens, and we don't have any numbers in the tens. So now we look at the ones, and the only number that has a number in the ones is 6 and 200ths. So that is our biggest decimal number. So we can cross that one off, and now we'll look at the next place value. The next biggest place value is tenths. And here there's 0 tenths, and here there's 8. So 87 hundredths is the next biggest number. And remember, we're ordering these from greatest to least, biggest to smallest. And that just leaves one last number. That just leaves one last number for us, and that is 3 hundredths. Also like 3 cents, and that is the smallest. So we can say that 6 and 200ths is greater than 87 hundredths, which is greater than 3 hundredths. You have learned how to order decimals from greatest to least. Good luck on your assignment.